This truck, while it's a trophy truck, technically it's based upon a buggy chassis. It has an independent rear end, independent front end. Where it differs is it has radiator in the front, fuel cell, spare tire in the rear, and we did that for weight distribution. It's a mid-engine car. The radiators, everything's up here in the front where we can get the nose weight on it. Good cooling. We can see through the back of the car. You can get the air through it. Won't be a hindrance in high-speed running. Aerodynamically, some people think it may slow you down a little bit having the radiators in the rear window. So we wanted all the cooling we could get, so we went for the front. Moving to the back a little bit, we've got pretty basic cockpit, a little wider than normal. The concept that Jimbo and I had was to put everything in the center console of the car. The shifters, the wiring, throttle cables, everything is out of the way down the middle of the car. Some of the other little features that we like are we have an emergency light here. It'll always be in the car. If we ever get caught missing our crew or whatever, we outrun them or we have trouble, we have at least one HID on the car that we can flip up at all times. It's right there. It's adjustable from the seat. Just got a pull pin. It's out of the way. If we don't need it, we need it. It's right there. This is the interior of the truck. It's pretty basic stuff other than just the way we have it laid out. Really no dash per se. We got the Motec here. We got all of our switches and circuit breakers in the center. Got the shift indicator, the radio, and the on and off switch for the battery, the kill switch. Okay, what we've got here is the brake bias that controls the front to the rear braking on the vehicle. You turn the bar left or right, it'll move a shuttle bar between these two master cylinders. It'll give you either more front brake or more rear brake. Some of the ones commercially available are not as positive as this. This was built here by us in the shop. It has a couple O-rings in here that produces a drag on it so that it never unwinds itself. If you want a half turn, a quarter turn, you dial it in, it stays there. It's very predictable and it gives you exactly what you want. All right, the pedals were built by Jimbo and myself here in the shop, as pretty much everything was in this car. They're chromoly, built over hammer form. Got a nice shape to them, nice and long, got a good leverage. Everything's up out of the way. I wanted to go with something not mounted to the floor, especially for the throttle pedal. They tend to have rocks get caught in them and it just creates problems. So everything is mounted up high. They ride in needle bearings with seals, and everything, all the controls, all the linkage run down the center of the car. And so we're trying to keep the interior of the car very clean, and in case of a big wreck or an accident or something, you're not getting all beat up by a bunch of parts. If this thing ever gets upside down, because of the speeds this thing's capable of and the weight of the vehicle, we went ahead and went with an 1/8" aluminum roof on it, which is not very common in these trucks. Hopefully that'll give us a little more protection, a little bit of strength. Okay, now we've got the motor back here. It's a 410 cubic inch Leon Patton small block. We went with the small block Chevy style rather than the LS series. A lot more parts for them, pretty basic, pretty dependable, making a lot of power. It's a good all-day motor. You can run this thing hard all day long and not have a lick of problems with it. Leon builds some of the best motors in the business. It's got the coil packs on the valve covers. Fuel injected, of course. It's got the tri-wide headers for extra torque. These are the coolers for the engine and the transmission. Filter, everything's back there. Again, it pulls the air from inside the cab. Dry sump oil system. Added a little dipstick here so we can just quickly look at it without having to pull the cap off. Two reasons: make sure the thing doesn't get a cap left off in the middle of a race, and not introduce any more dirt into the system than we really have to. Coolant setup is a little unique for one of these things. It's got a surge tank that drops directly into the top of the water pump, and all the vent lines from the front of the vehicle come back and collect in the top of this tank. Here we've got the fuel cell. It's just shy of 100 gallons. It's got the fuel pumps, fuel filters inside the tank. It's capable of dry brake filling. It's also capable of just using a dump can off of a 3-inch opening on the side. It has a second set of filters mounted above it that we can get to quickly. The inspection covers come off fast if we need to in a race to check anything in there. Don't think we would ever have to. It's full of foam, keeps the sloshing down. It's made by a company called Aerotech, who does predominantly aircraft fuel bladders. A little bit different than most people use. It's a really nice part, nice and flexible, a little bit lighter than some of the other ones out there. These are the mufflers on the car. They do little more than just knock down the crack of the exhaust. Stainless steel, a little more money, last a lot longer, don't make any more horsepower, but they do last considerably longer. When they're finished, they will turn out the back, aim towards the back just a little bit. And down buried in all that is the Mendiola transmission, the sequential HD4, big gearbox, pretty darn bulletproof. Should never have any problems with anything like that. What we've got here's the power steering reservoirs by Tommy Lee. We've added the sight glass. Once again, just like the dry sump, we'd rather visually see what's in the tank without opening the cap. It cuts down on the possibility of somebody not getting the cap on, but bigger than that, not introducing any more dirt into the system. Also, if we have to change a pump, we've got this aircraft shut-off valve. Pull the pin out, shut the valve off. What's left in your system, in your reservoir, will not drain out onto the ground. Pretty simple. Change the pump down there. When you're done, open the valve back up, put the pin in it, and you're good to go. This is the upper arm that comes with the car. Very nice part, nice robust part, pretty darn indestructible. But what we wanted to do is we wanted a little bit of a different camber curve for the front end. So we decided to build our own piece. This is the skeleton of the arm, the fixture we built right here. We'll be able to build our arms here. Anything we want to change, anything we want to change on the arm, we can do by changing spacers or positions of these pickup points. This will give us the ability to tune the car, play with some ideas we might have. Nice part, very expensive to produce, and we can do this in-house. I could probably build a set of these arms in a couple of days. Okay, if we come back from the 2-day test, everything's good. We're able to test for both days. We'll come back. Jim will pull the CVs. We'll look at the wheel bearings, brakes, just basically make sure nothing's rubbing or making chafing, or all the wires, all the lines look good. CVs are always a big issue with these cars. Prep the filters, change the oil, whatever Leon wants to do on the motor. If he wants to run the valves or check the timing or anything like that. Don't foresee anything like that. Won't have a lot of time on it. Just look it over. Nut and bolt the car, and that'll be about it. Hopefully we'll be good.